I was looking over our impacts over the last 5 years, and we've helped secure over $117 million for projects in the last 5 years. And I'm pretty proud of that.
Recorded live from the heart of the Bakken, it's the Williston Works podcast.
Welcome to the brand new season of the Williston Works podcast, brought to you by the City of Williston. I'm your host, Anna Nelson, Executive Director of Williston Economic Development. And whether you're tuning in for the first time or you've been with us from the start, we're excited to continue bringing you in-depth conversations with the entrepreneurs, small business owners, and investors shaping Williston, North Dakota. Now, for this week's episode, I'm so excited to welcome Cyrena Weeks. Now, she's the Executive Director at the Tri-County Regional Development Council. Cyrena, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Okay. All right. So let's start off. Hopefully this is an easy one. Can you just tell us a little bit about your background and what led you back here to Williston?
Absolutely. So I was born and raised in Williston. I have just enjoyed all parts of Williston and being in this community. And so for about 10, almost 15 years, moved away, worked at the Department of Commerce in Bismarck, ran a bed and breakfast, milked cows for a while in Milner. And now it was just a good time to come back. My parents are still here and wanted to be closer to family. So it's been 15 years I've been back in Williston.
And we're so happy to have you back here.
Thank you.
Can you give us kind of an overview? What is Tri-County Regional Development Council? What's its mission? How did it come to be? What's its background?
Yeah, I love when people ask me where I work, because when you say Tri-County Regional Development Council, people go, hi, the what? So let me tell you about what we are. About 40 years ago, legislation created all of the regional councils. They took the state of North Dakota, split it up into 8 regions, and they want to make sure that each county is represented by a region so that rural wasn't really lost to knowing how important that is in North Dakota. So each of those regional councils have a strategic boots on the ground resource for people to utilize to diversify the state's economy. And really, the goal is to revitalize our communities.
You know, it's funny because you mentioned nobody really knows what you do. And when I first started working here in Williston, I was at the chamber, so we were talking a lot about grants. And every single time they were like, you got to go talk to Cyrena. You got to go talk to Cyrena. And I was like, great. What does she do? What do we do? And so it's been such a pleasure getting to work with you and getting to know you and everything that you do for our communities. So thank you. We appreciate you. Now, how has the business culture changed in Williston over the past 10 to 15 years? And how has the council helped with that growth in the region?
We have just been so blessed in Williston to have the economy that we have. Anyone who's been here in the last 10 to 15 years can see the changes in our business culture, how we've really grown and we've gotten stronger. The one thing that hasn't changed in Williston, and I want to make sure to hit on this, is the people. What we're seeing is that people come to Williston with this 3-year plan. So they're going to come, they're going to make money, they're going to be in the oil field, whatever that looks like for them. And in 3 years, they're going to move back home, because back home is always the goal, to get back where you were from. And what we see over and over are those people are here 5 years, 10 years. Now they're on 15 years and going, well, this wasn't part of the plan. But I truly believe that's because of the people that are in Williston. You become a part of this community and you realize, this is where I want to be. This is what's important. So I just feel like that's one part that just will never change. As far as what Tri-County has done to help that growth in the region, what our offices do, all of our regional councils do, is we just provide decades of experience in project planning and implementation. We know how to take funding sources and partner that money with other funding sources to really get projects going, get them off the ground, get them started. So there is just really an importance right now. We're talking a lot in legislation that we're trying to get passed for funding in grant writing, and how there are lots of federal dollars out there that aren't getting utilized because there isn't someone to write those grants and to help people know how to tap into it. I had a call yesterday from a facility that was like, we want to expand and we want to grow in Williston. How can we tap into these dollars? And it was so exciting because that's exactly what we love to do here, is help people see. And one of the things I'll say is it kind of the hot topic is grants, grants, grants. And I have people come in all the time and be like, what kind of grant can I get? Well, it's not always a grant that is going to be accessible to a private business, but there are loan dollars that really can help. So I want people to be thinking about that too, that we always want them to have an investment in their business, but we also want to partner and help them get it going.
Yeah, and from what I can tell, you have done and your office has done a tremendous job of helping those businesses find those loans, find those dollars, and really be successful here. And, I want to go back to the first part of your answer there when you're talking about the people. And I was in a meeting the other day and someone said, yeah, you come for the opportunity and you stay for the community. And like that just really resonated with me. And that just seemed like exactly what you were talking about. So I don't think you're the only one who thinks that. So if anybody's listening, come and experience our amazing community today. What challenges do local entrepreneurs and small businesses face today, and how does your office help overcome these challenges?
One of the common things that I see with businesses, they are applying for loans, and the bank is only able to take on so much of that liability. And so they're in need of some gap funding. So at Tri-County, we have a revolving loan fund, it's called. And really, what those dollars are to just small loans that help with that gap financing. So we cover that maybe 20,000 or 25,000 that is needed. And those aren't grants, but they are gap financing loans that are typically at a lower percentage rate than the bank. Right now we're at 4%, and that can fluctuate, but it's just that little bit of extra that a company needs to get going. On those revolving loan funds, we always have to have a bank participation. So we work with their bank, they sign a release of information, and then we work directly with that bank to see what kind of funding they're able to do and what Tri-County could be able to do. I was looking over our impacts over the last 5 years, and we've helped secure over $117 million for projects in the last 5 years. And I'm pretty proud of that.
You should be. That's amazing. And that just goes to show too, like the number of businesses and entrepreneurs that are trusting their business in your hands and in our community's hands. So that's amazing. So we've talked a little bit about the funding. Let's go back to those grants really quickly. So I know that you do a lot with the Community Development Block Grant. What is that, and how does your office work to facilitate that?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we call it CDBG, Community Development Block Grant. CDBG dollars are federal dollars that are able to be used by local governments, and those are in the forms of grants or loans for like public facilities, housing rehab, economic development projects, the primary beneficiaries of those CDBG dollars are very low and low income individuals. So that's kind of the caveat to those dollars is that you have to show that you are helping those low and very low income people. Some of the things are like housing rehab in low income units, public facilities that are in low income areas, and then that economic development is to cities and counties to receive funds that would benefit low income. One of the things that Tri-County has been able to do with those CDBG dollars is help businesses become ADA compliant, the American Disability Act. And so our most recent project we're just finishing up is in Epping, and we were able to get ramps and ADA accessible restrooms in their senior center. So we just love that those dollars are really going to help people that that's just a facility that would never be able to afford the renovations they needed for everyone to be able to access it.
That's huge. You mentioned that's in Epping. That is a smaller community. And so to be able to utilize what you have to offer and to utilize this program is so cool to see. So let's talk about partnerships. Can you share any examples of successful partnerships that Tri-County Regional Development Council has made with clients that have made a tangible impact on our local economy?
I think my favorite one right now is it was 2 years ago. We were working with Train ND, and so they were talking to us about their equipment for their CDL and their crane operator training had become obsolete or was about to become obsolete. They were on the brink of having to shut down that program. There's law that says their equipment can't be more than 10 years old that they're training the participants with. And it was a hefty bill to be able to get everything up to compliance. Tri-County partnered with them. We wrote a grant to EDA, and we were able to get $1.8 million in equipment to keep that program running. And I just love that. They have graduated over 250 students over these last couple of years that grant's been in effect. They were able to get a virtual reality training center. And so they're able to, before people are ready to be out on the road and running this big equipment, they can use those simulators to learn on. We just love they got some state-of-the-art equipment to keep that program running. Another one I was thinking about on this is we partnered with the city of Williston to help with their financing package for the new airport. And so when that financing package was coming in, we were running cash flows and looking for grants and loans. And we were part of getting the pre-grant together for them to get a loan that had a 4% interest rate. And the bond at that time was 5%. And so they saved over $39 million in interest on that loan through that funding package. And it's just huge.
It is huge. And that was one of the projects that we talked about in our first episode. Like, that was the first brand new international airport in the United States in decades. So that was such a huge project that you got to be a part of.
Yes.
And
Very cool.
assist in such a big way.
Thank you.
And also on that, the Train ND grants. So, I mean, just in the time that I have been here, I have heard about the high demand for those CDL drivers. So that was so important to be able to continue that program. So thank you for your work on that. For anybody who doesn't know, what is EDA?
Yeah, Economic Development Association. So those are federal dollars.
We deal with so many acronyms, you more than me, I think even. So just want to make sure to spell those out every now and then. So let's talk about the future now. What role do you see your office playing in the next stage of Williston's development as the area continues to evolve and, this is a big word, diversify economically?
So our role really is to support businesses in any way possible. We're continually looking for grant dollars for projects and actively writing grants that are going to boost our economy. One of the projects we worked on, we were able to write a grant for Western Star Gymnastics, and they were able to purchase new equipment for that expansion that they did. And I love projects like that really that's something that makes it fun for people to do life in Williston. And so I think when we can get into the community that way, it just really helps all of our business, our economy when people want to be here and they've got amenities to stay here.
It makes a huge difference in where you live and the amenities that are available. We said the word diversify, and as we've been chatting, it just seems like already just in the projects that you mentioned, there's such a diverse group of projects there. I mean, you've done training, you've done an airport, you've done ADA. We talked yesterday, you and I were just talking with a potential client about something related to healthcare, and then talking about the quality of life. So it's just there's so much happening here, and you get to be a
Mhm.
part of all of it. It's so exciting.
I love that. I do.
Now, what are your goals for the Tri-County area, and how do you see the council helping to fulfill these goals in the coming years?
One of the big goals that I have right now is applying for more of those revolving loan funds. I think there is such a need, especially when interest rates are as high as they are. Small businesses really struggle with having enough of a down payment and getting those loans. And so I want to be able to apply for more of those dollars. EDA has some possibilities. And so that's really our next big thing that we're working on, writing that grant, be able to get more of those dollars, and then getting that into the community. We're continually working on workforce and childcare. It's just everyone is talking about what are the creative solutions for those. So any part we have in that is also important to us.
Absolutely. And I mean, childcare is a workforce issue,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think we can't stress that enough. And I've loved working with you and other partners on those issues as well, because it does make an impact on our community and on those businesses that we're trying to help grow and thrive. So glad that you've been working on that as well. Now, how do you see Tri-County Regional Development Council continuing to foster Williston's growth while ensuring that the city maintains its charm and strong sense of community?
One of the things that I absolutely love is our office contracts with the Small Business Development Center. And so that's really when I started my position here over 3 years ago. I was able to start helping Keith Olson at SBDC to his client load was just huge. So our office contracts with him. I'm able to see clients, and that's a really one of the best things when we get to help entrepreneurs start businesses, expand their current business. I think those are those strong partnerships that are going to help our community. They're going to help us to grow. We're going to be able to offer those amenities that people want to make life fun here in Williston. And, I said it once already, but I'll say it again. It is the people in Williston that just love being here, and SBDC is just a way for us to continue loving on people.
Yeah, it was always so neat for me to see, in my work at the chamber and now here, everybody that we did a ribbon cutting for or had talked to in some other capacity. It's been so fun to see all of these entrepreneurs saying, I couldn't have done it without Small Business Development Center. I couldn't have done it without Keith and Cyrena. And so, I mean, that right there is just a testament to the work that you've been doing and the people that you are and the people that you're fostering. These are entrepreneurs, and it's amazing to see them investing here and the work that you do to help them do that. All right. So for anyone interested in getting involved or learning more, how can local businesses and residents contact the Tri-County Regional Development Council?
Yeah, so our office is located inside the Center for Development. So we're right here with Economic Development and CBB. So that's our office, 113 4th Street East. You can also call our office. Our number is 701-577-1358, or you can visit our website at tricountyrDC.com.
Wonderful. And we love having you as neighbors.
I love being your neighbor.
Good.
Thank
Good.
you.
And also, just before we sign off, congratulations again on being executive director. I know that was new at the beginning of the year, so we're so excited to get to know you, to get to know the work that you're doing, and we just really appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of our listeners for listening to today's episode of the Williston Works podcast, brought to you by the City of Williston. Please like and subscribe for more interviews and content. And in the meantime, you can learn more about Williston economic development by visiting willistondevelopment.com. We'll see you next time on the Williston Works podcast.